In the sprawling, interconnected world of global finance, transactions worth trillions flow daily, often unseen, through digital conduits. But in early 2016, this intricate network became the hunting ground for an audacious group of cyber criminals. Their target was not a small online wallet or a private account, but the very reserves of a nation's central bank, held within one of the world's most trusted financial institutions. Their ambition was staggering: to steal nearly $1 billion in a single, devastating blow, a sum that could destabilize an entire economy and send shockwaves across the globe. At the heart of this unfolding drama stood Bangladesh Bank, the central bank of Bangladesh, tasked with managing the country's foreign currency reserves. These reserves, vital for the nation's economic stability, were held in an account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, a seemingly impenetrable bastion of global finance. Bangladesh Bank, like central banks worldwide, relied on secure digital communications to manage these vast sums, believing its systems to be robust against external threats. This trust, however, was about to be profoundly shattered by a meticulously planned intrusion. The primary conduit for these international transactions is the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, or SWIFT. This cooperative network, linking over 11,000 financial institutions across more than 200 countries, forms the very backbone of global banking. SWIFT messages are considered the gold standard for secure, reliable, and standardized communication between banks, carrying instructions for billions of dollars in daily transfers. Exploiting this trusted network would be the linchpin of the hackers' strategy, allowing them to masquerade as the central bank itself and issue fraudulent payment orders. The hackers' journey into Bangladesh Bank's systems was not a blitzkrieg, but a patient, insidious campaign. Months before the main assault, they stealthily breached the bank's network, installing sophisticated malware. This wasn't a random act of vandalism, it was a targeted reconnaissance mission. The intruders meticulously mapped the bank's digital infrastructure, identified key vulnerabilities, and, crucially, sought out the credentials necessary to access the SWIFT system, the keys to the financial kingdom. Their presence went undetected, a digital phantom observing the daily flow of a nation's wealth. The malware deployed within Bangladesh Bank's network served a dual purpose. Firstly, it allowed the attackers to gain persistent access, ensuring they could return to the system at will. Secondly, and perhaps more critically, it was designed to monitor internal operations, gather SWIFT credentials, and understand the bank's standard operating procedures for international transfers. This deep understanding enabled the hackers to craft their fraudulent messages with an uncanny resemblance to legitimate transactions, minimizing suspicion. They were not just breaking in, they were learning to mimic the bank's own voice. February 4, 2016. A seemingly ordinary Thursday, but in the digital realm, a meticulously planned operation was set into motion. With the stolen credentials and intimate knowledge of the bank's systems, the hackers initiated a flurry of fraudulent SWIFT transfer requests. Each message was crafted to appear authentic, instructing the Federal Reserve Bank of New York to transfer funds from Bangladesh Bank's account to various recipient banks, primarily in the Philippines and Sri Lanka. The digital assault began quietly, a series of codes and commands, each one a whisper of the financial storm that was about to break. The immediate target of these fraudulent instructions was Bangladesh Bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The requests directed the New York Fed to disburse funds to recipient accounts, predominantly at the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, or RCBC, in the Philippines. This strategic choice of destination was crucial. The Philippines, with its less stringent anti-money laundering regulations and a thriving casino industry, offered a ripe environment for quickly obfuscating the illicit funds. The hackers were not just stealing money, they were meticulously planning its disappearance. In total, the hackers submitted an astonishing 35 fraudulent transfer requests, attempting to siphon a staggering $951 million from Bangladesh Bank's account. This sheer scale speaks volumes about their ambition and confidence. Had all these requests gone through, it would have amounted to one of the largest bank heists in history, with devastating consequences for Bangladesh's economy. Each request was a gamble, a test of the system's vigilance, but the criminals were aiming high, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in the digital financial world. While most of the requests were ultimately blocked, for transfer orders, totaling $81 million, successfully slipped through the initial defenses. These funds were directed to accounts opened at Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, a commercial bank in the Philippines. The successful transfers represented a significant victory for the hackers, a clear demonstration of their ability to penetrate a nation's central bank and exploit the trusted SWIFT network. This $81 million was just a fraction of their initial goal, but still an immense sum, enough to fuel a complex money laundering operation. Another transfer request, for $20 million, was sent to the Pan Asia Banking Corporation in Sri Lanka. However, this particular instruction contained a crucial, almost comical, error. The hackers, in their haste or oversight, misspelled foundation as foundation in the name of the beneficiary. This seemingly minor typo proved to be a critical slip-up. It was a small human error in a sophisticated digital attack, a momentary lapse that would ultimately unravel a larger portion of their ambitious plan and expose the depth of their digital intrusion. The misspelled foundation caught the attention of routing bank, Deutsche Bank, which was processing the transaction. Unsure about the legitimacy of the request due to this glaring inconsistency, Deutsche Bank immediately sought clarification from Bangladesh Bank. This standard procedural check, triggered by a simple human error, proved to be the turning point. It highlighted a gap in the hackers' otherwise meticulous planning and offered the first real opportunity to halt the financial hemorrhage before it escalated further. A small typo saved millions. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, simultaneously, began noticing an unusually high volume of transaction requests from Bangladesh Bank. While the individual requests appeared legitimate, their sheer number within a short period raised red flags. Combined with Deutsche Bank's query about the foundation typo, the pieces began to fall into place. The New York Fed promptly put a hold on all further pending transfers, preventing the remaining $850 million from being stolen. The digital dam had been breached, but a catastrophic flood was narrowly averted. The hackers strategically timed their attack to exploit temporal vulnerabilities. The fraudulent transfers were initiated on a Thursday evening in Bangladesh, coinciding with a weekend in Bangladesh and a public holiday in the Philippines. This deliberate timing was designed to delay discovery and response. With bank offices closed, communications would be slow, allowing critical hours for the illicit funds to move through the system and be laundered before anyone could effectively intervene. It was a calculated move, leveraging global time zones and banking schedules against the very institutions they targeted. Once the $81 million landed in the RCBC accounts in the Philippines, the criminals wasted no time. The funds were almost immediately funneled through various shell corporations and then rapidly laundered through Manila's thriving casino industry. This method is notoriously effective for obscuring financial trails, as casino winnings and losses can quickly legitimize illicit cash. The rapid movement of funds within a matter of days made tracing and recovery incredibly difficult, demonstrating the hackers' advanced understanding not just of cybercrime, but of international money laundering networks. Upon realizing the devastating breach, Bangladesh Bank immediately contacted SWIFT, the New York Fed, and Interpol. An international investigation was swiftly launched, involving law enforcement agencies from Bangladesh, the Philippines, the United States, and other countries. The primary objectives were to identify the perpetrators, trace the stolen funds, and recover as much as possible. This incident highlighted the truly global nature of modern cybercrime, where an attack originating from one corner of the world could have its impact felt, and its investigation span, across multiple continents. The post-mortem investigation revealed glaring security vulnerabilities within Bangladesh Bank itself. Critical infrastructure, including the SWIFT terminal, was found to be connected to the public internet without adequate firewalls. The bank was reportedly using cheap, second-hand network switches, and lacked a robust system for real-time transaction monitoring. These basic security oversights created an environment ripe for exploitation, allowing the hackers to operate relatively unimpeded for months. It was a stark reminder that even the most secure global networks are only as strong as their weakest link, often at the local institutional level. Despite the extensive international investigation, the vast majority of the $81 million stolen has never been recovered. Only a fraction, around $15 million, was eventually traced and returned to Bangladesh Bank. This leaves a significant financial hole, a tangible loss that impacts the nation's economy. The incident underscored the immense challenge of recovering funds once they enter sophisticated money laundering pipelines, particularly when facilitated by jurisdictions with less transparency. For Bangladesh, the stolen money represents a stark, ongoing reminder of the hack's enduring financial cost. The Bangladesh Bank hack sent shockwaves through the global financial industry. It forced SWIFT and its member banks worldwide to re-evaluate their security protocols, emphasizing the shared responsibility in protecting the integrity of the network. The incident spurred significant investments in cybersecurity, improved monitoring systems, and enhanced information sharing among financial institutions. It became a harsh, public lesson in the critical importance of multi-layered defenses and constant vigilance against evolving cyber threats, transforming how central banks and commercial institutions approached their digital security. Years later, despite the extensive efforts of law enforcement agencies across the globe, the identities of the masterminds behind the Bangladesh bank hack largely remain elusive. While North Korea's Lazarus Group has been widely implicated by intelligence agencies, no definitive arrests have been made, nor have specific individuals been brought to justice for the direct execution of the heist. The lingering mystery surrounding the perpetrators serves as a chilling testament to the sophisticated, often state-sponsored, nature of modern cyber warfare and the challenges in holding distant, shadowy actors accountable. The 2016 Bangladesh bank hack stands as a watershed moment in the history of cybercrime. It wasn't just a financial theft, it was a profound demonstration of how vulnerabilities in one institution could threaten the stability of the entire global financial ecosystem. It exposed the intersection of sophisticated hacking, rapid money laundering, and international geopolitical complexities. As our world becomes ever more digitized, the lessons learned from this nearly billion-dollar heist continue to resonate, serving as a constant, sobering reminder of the persistent and evolving threat lurking in the shadows of our interconnected digital age.